Except where them haters, where them hoes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Skill number 8 in the 10 critical skills that are hard to learn but pay off in life and in martial arts. And that's being consistent. Let me tell you something. That's how a lot of people screw themselves up when it comes to trying to get a black belt and learning anything in the martial arts, is that you're not consistent. You don't come to class. You don't practice. Your main thing is that you don't practice. I got a judo black belt. I talk about that one because that was the hardest to get. Not because judo was, necessarily harder. But where I was living at the time, it just was not conducive for me to go to class like I really wanted to. And my kids were little, and then I became the only breadwinner. So I had to really watch my money, and I just didn't have money for judo classes. And back then, I didn't know about the thing, which I think I'll link to also, where you can get your classes paid for at a sliding scale in PG County. I have to interject here too. Part of the problem too is I was also training in the striking arts while trying to get the judo black belt. So you can see why that would take away time. But the striking arts classes were closer than the judo classes to where I was living. So there you go. If you're going through park and rec. I didn't know about it until I no longer qualified for it. Imagine that. But the thing that helped me is that I practiced. My attendance was inconsistent for a while, and that held me back. But as soon as I started coming to class consistently, I made progress. What I did was, I knew it was going to take me a long time, especially since I didn't want to compete, because I didn't have the money to compete, and I wanted to spend time with my kids. But I still kept coming. I just forward, inched forward, inched forward, and eventually I broke through the barrier. That's what you need to do, especially if you're an adult and you're working. If you think you don't have time, first of all, if you're near me and you're an adult and you're working, you can find time to come to class. Right now, I'm going to be offering one more class on Tuesdays. And I understand that people work, and I know that the DC area has the second worst traffic in the nation. So just come. But you've got to practice. A lot of you don't practice, especially with the kids. That's their main problem. This is why a lot of schools and clubs have attendance requirements. It's because you don't practice at home, so they know if you come to class that you're going to be going through the motions. But just be consistent. Practice, 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 practice. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. You've heard this is just a generic expression at this point. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Keep going towards the goal that you want, and it is attainable, especially if your goal is getting a black belt in the martial arts. Keep going. I think it was Jeremy Lesniak at Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio that said that the martial arts are one of those rare things where you get out of it exactly what you put into it. That is so true. See, I got the belts that I initially wanted, and now I'm starting to go beyond that. But I didn't start out at the same school that I didn't finish at the same school I started. Definitely. I just wanted to do it, and I just went when I could. Schools, clubs closed, instructors came and went. I ended up having to go to different styles. Every time I moved, I had to start over again in another school. But it was still a consistent effort. And then, when I look back, I was like, I really would have rather had to go around through this way, because now, like, I know that a lot of these styles have similarities. When I read about how one style comes from another style, I actually know that through experience, because I know how these styles start off in the beginning. I can actually see the differences because I know it's not just a written piece of text for me. I literally know because I literally had the experience of starting over. I can compare a few styles because I actually know what it's like to come up through the ranks in those things. And I've seen different approaches to teaching. So it paid off. What looked to be an obstacle ended up being a great education. But that wouldn't happen if I wasn't consistent. And and at your workplace, that's how you advance in your career. You want to know the secret to getting a good job? You get a job, and you get a better 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 job. I'm not looping it. Then you get a better job, then you get a better job. That's how you do it. Consistency, consistent effort over time, and you get the results that you want. Okay? Don't worry about how long it takes because you know what? Once you get the goal, you've got it. Peace.